that I'm relating my feelings, you can relate to my feelings, and today when I think I resigned, I should not have. So I would just put across that when you think of giving up something in life,
don't do it.
Don't do it. Because it's hard, it will hurt. The change will bring a change. But then after a couple of years, you will be glad that you didn't give up. Thank you.
Thank you so much, madam.
Thank you, Archana. Just one word. We are school friends, you know. We studied together in school. And she landed here and married my colleague. I mean, who's also...
So you two were destined to be together.
So we were destined to be together.
I married her colleague who was requesting her that if she had a younger sister, he would marry her.
So I gave him the next best thing I had.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your experiences actually. And telling us that we don't have to choose. We can have everything. Now I'd like to invite our next panelist, Ms. Anjana Gossain. As you all can see, she's a very strong and vibrant personality. You can't really ignore her when she's there. You know? And she has been a wildlife enthusiast from her very beginning of her career. And Madam, you have practicing law for past more than 30 years. You know, she's working in a field, ruling, which is being ruled by many. And she handles environmental issues and wildlife offences. You conduct legal awareness programs for forest officials in different states, and you are recently involved in amendments in Indian Wildlife Protection Act. You are appointed by Supreme Court as an observer in Ranthambore National Park. You are not just a lawyer, an environmental activist, but also an academician. She is providing inputs at several institutes and universities. And ma'am, as a lawyer, I would like to ask you, as a woman lawyer working for environmental issues and for wildlife, what have been your experiences? And what are your suggestions for women professionals in different fields? What are the challenges faced by women at the grassroots level? And when dealing with the forest-related issues, what are the strengths and weaknesses are there, and how a woman can deal with it?
Thanks. Good afternoon, everybody. And another opportunity given to me by Ruchi to be here, like a few years ago, and then we got together again for one of my programs in Rajasthan. And it's always a pleasure to be in this institute. I think it's like a second home when I think of meeting women, professional women, as far as that is concerned. Before I start, I'm reminded of a very interesting incident of Winston Churchill. Whenever he used to address the House of Lords, he used to get a chit from his wife. And it used to have a word written, kiss. So another statesman sitting next to him would say, "You're a very lucky person that you get such a nice gesture." So he said, "No, man, it's not kiss, it's keep it short, stupid." So, so I'm reminded of the time bargain here. So, and being a professional, we are trained to time ourselves. So I want to, before somebody else says kiss, I rather start on the other note. Well, being a lawyer and then being a person in the environment, there are two interesting phases in my life. Born to a civil servant father and a mother being an educationist, and a family of 4 daughters. You know, in those days, it used to be a big subject, well, no boy, all girls, but my father always encouraged this fact that I have not 4 girls, but I have 4 good children. He never identified as a boy or a girl. So when I used to be in school, I used to be a debater. So my father thought that a debater can culminate into a lawyer, because you must be coming across every day, but ये बड़ा बोलती है, ये तो ज़रूर इसको वकील बना दो. So, you know, lawyer is almost considered as somebody who can talk well, but that's not the fact. Lawyer has not only to talk, but he has to talk sense. There is a difference in talking and what you talk. So basically, I had a friend, you all must have known of late Kailash Sankla, you know, a very legendary name in the wildlife world. He was father of my friend, and at that time he was in Delhi Zoo as a director. So his son Pradeep Sankla and myself, we were class fellows in a course called Travel and Tourism Management. So I used to do my law classes during the day and attend this course in the evening. That's where I met this friend, and that's how I came across Uncle. That's how, because it was an extended family for me. So I got introduced to this concept of animals and zoo, whatever. Finally, when he retired in '89, he started this called Tiger Trust. And he called me, not that he thought I was a great person in conservation. He said, "Beta, tum vakil ho, kuch help karo. Set up my trust." So we drafted and everything happened. Uncle fell seriously ill 91 or so, but before that what had happened, because of this friend I had met in 76, I did this course in 77. So I started visiting these parks from almost 1980 onwards. I remember my first visit was to Dudhwa. So you started watching things around you, and I thought, let's do something which is combination of law and environment. So for 5-10 years, I was like any regular person, going to the park and making merry and, making a lot of noise, breaking laws, as lawyers are known for, that, well, you are supposed to be protecting law, but when you are young, you don't really think so much about it. So that is a regretful period, but I still have no regrets about that. That's how I'm here. So we realized that in Dudhwa, there was an incident where a man-eater was caught. And this man-eater was to be killed by the chief wildlife warden. So that was the first encounter I saw at night, and being referred to the park authorities by Kailash uncle, he was the chief wildlife warden in Rajasthan. So he had made arrangements that we go to the park inside. And in front of me, I saw those two eyes of the tiger, because he was spotted, and then a bullet, and then suddenly those two eyes came to the right side. Something went amiss in my heart. And I said, it's a thoughtful killing because he's turned out to be a man-eater. Let's look at the reasons. Why did he become a man-eater? So that's how, this whole thought process started. And I offered to Uncle Kailash Sankla that, how can I help? He said, then you must join our organization. Then the first PIL came across when I filed in the Supreme Court regarding the adding of poison in the water areas in Kanha, and the Supreme Court directions to the state that you should not be doing so. That was my first step. The second success came when I challenged the entire methodology of census in the country. In 1992, I filed a big PIL called Lynn Fernandez versus Union of India, in which I questioned the entire government. I questioned central government, I questioned state of Rajasthan, and I said the number of tigers you are talking about is all wrong, your methodology is wrong, and I fought it tooth and nail all by myself for 7 years, which resulted in this country for the first time, the census was made on yearly basis, and they had opened the doors to the other stakeholders. They allowed everybody to join in, otherwise it used to be a closed door system. And that's how where I met and I came across this institute. I got introduced to IGNFA and various other premier institutes who were involved. And I came across well-known people who were known for working in this area. But I challenged them also. I said, your reports are fudgy, everything is there, because I believe you must be independent. When you take any job, you should not be worried what are the consequences. You must go straight down. And that resulted in my getting to know what are the conflicts among them, that is human and animal. And then we thought law was the best process to set it right. And we started these capacity building programs where I met this charming lady. And that is where we decided that the failure of cases was so high that if there were 100 cases registered, 99 cases were either resulting in non-prosecution, that means nobody was there to follow, or it was resulting in acquittals. So we started working with all the forest departments and we started giving them trainings. And first was IGNFA, and then we never looked back. We went to Andhra, we went to Kerala, we went to Rajasthan, Assam. In all these courses, we were there. Then my ambition came that why only national? Let's go international. So this is interesting story how I hopped into the US FWS, that is called the US Fish Wildlife Service. Now you can imagine being a woman, and obviously my experience, I want to share another hilarious one, which the subject, as she said, what challenges did I face my experience? My first experience was in 1999 with the Chief Wildlife Warden in Madhya Pradesh. I cannot name, but whatever. So I said, sir, this is my name. I sent the card in. He says, Bithao. And I had taken time from some other resource person who had just given me this much leverage. Madam, aap jaake mil lena. Now, we are waiting outside. We waited for 1 hour. He never called me in. Thinking ye pata nahi kya karne aayi hai. So then, when I sent another reminder, I said, sir, I've been waiting outside, so I'd like to meet you. Reluctantly, he called me in. हाँ जी बैठिए, क्या करना है? I think courtesy नाम की भी कोई चीज़ होती है. So I said, sir, I'm a lawyer, so what do you want to do? I said, sir, I want to extend my experience and I want to share it for the benefit of the staff. Before I could open my mouth, he said, आप क्या benefit करेंगे? I said, sir, we are not here to... It took me, in short, it took me almost 10 minutes that he should allow me to sit down and he should allow me to speak, how humiliating it is. And this was my first program which I started for the capacity building, and everything was staring right in front of me that back home as a lawyer I can blast the judge, I can do everything. Here I have to, go, and this was the first, love and hate relationship with bureaucracy. Anyway, I said, sir, can I sit? Then he realized that, oh, something is amiss. He says, bet here. Then I said, just give me 5 minutes. I know by the clock I'll finish in 4.5 minutes, and thereafter you can do what you wish to do. Then he realized that he was being extra rude. He says, sorry, madam, bathiye, bataiye kya hai. Then in that 4 minutes, that was a change of turn of events for both of us. I told him, how many cases are going for acquittal? Whatever it is, I don't want any money from you. All I want is just give me an opportunity to tell you how we can plug in the whole loops and what can we do together. All you have to do is give me a staff of 20, 30, 40 people, and I will tell them if it goes waste, if it is a failure, take a report from your people and we'll be out. We will spend the money, I will spend it from my pocket, I will ferry my resource faculty, I will provide everything. He said, all right. Then that was the first program we did in Bandhavgarh, which was a runaway success, and the officers said we had never learned so much of law as we learned from these sessions. Then gradually we started picking up. Then came another incident. Just after 2 years, another strong-headed fellow came. And in Madhya Pradesh, Ruchi would know, if you are supposed to be told, in Rajasthan they give you papad. That means meals are over, get lost. That's how these are the cultural things. In Madhya Pradesh, they serve you long, or ilaichi. वो दे देते हैं एक प्लेट पे कि भाई now over lunch और आपके आगे जो खाना दिया ये end है. Then I was sitting and talking to this gentleman. I said, sir, this is whatever. After a few minutes, I have some reasons to tell you that we need to do this, and these are the kind of things I need. He didn't know anything. After 5 minutes, a plate was served in front of me with ilaichi. That means it's over. You must leave. So I had nothing else to do. I had to get up. So this was another, just after 2 years, this was another humiliation to face. But I was being dogmatic again. I said, no, I will not give up. So I started meeting up with other people. We started gathering our, collective strength to go. And success for being a woman. And then I had my academy full of other people, resource people were men, because very few women lawyers would like to join. As somebody had to travel, somebody would say, I have small children. I also had the same problem, but I said, this is my mission in life, so I will continue with it. So I continued until now also I am continuing. So the problem which I faced, as the question is this, that my experiences were bitter to begin with, turned out to be a sweet pill, because I thought a passion is a fundamental subject. Passion is something which drives you, and it has to be inborn. It cannot be taken on loan, or it cannot be taken from somebody else. If it is there, that's a driving force with you. And then when I thought that now I have trained, most of them are men. Now let me do something related to women, as the point is at the grassroots level. Now I got to know that Rajasthan government is recruiting women forest guards. I didn't know that, this was 33% of women forest guards, and this started in 2011. So you can imagine the grassroots, where you have 100 forest guards for the protection of the forest and the animals. Suddenly you have 33% women. I became very ambitious, and I applied to USFWS. That was also another interesting incident. I went on the internet, sought appointment, and Ruchi knows Fred Bagley. And at that particular time, the international division was headed by another gentleman. I sought time. They did give me time. They were very courteous. They met, and there I made my presentation. And they were really happy to learn that we have women forest guards, and suddenly they said, we would like to sponsor this program. Other than that, I had a sponsorship for them for the normal capacity building program. So with a lot of fanfare, I approached the state government of Rajasthan. I said, I like to have, these forest guards as the trainees for 2 years. So this was the first recruitment in the country with such a large number. And when we recruited them, they recruited and I started the course. And I was surprised to know that the qualifying eligibility was class 10th. And the girls were postgraduates. Some of them were graduates. Some of them were even planning to join research, but there were no government jobs. So when I came across them, they were very enthusiastic. Ruchi had also done one course in Udaipur. They all looked walking and they said, "Banduk chalana sikha do, hum to ye kar denge, wo kar denge." Lot of enthusiasm, and we did give them field trainings and whatnot. And when I used to do one batch, and I would go to the other one, and then I would find that the faces were, some of them were different. So I would say, "अरे भाई वो बहुत अच्छा करी थी, वो कहाँ गई? जी वो तो टीचर बन गई." अच्छा, where are the other girls? जी उन्होंने तो उनका शादी हो गई. वो कहाँ है जी? वो pregnant है. So then I realized that whenever I'm going to the office of the these field directors, all women are sitting. At time, and I had to make a joke. I said, "आप तो यहाँ कृष्ण कन्हैया बन के बैठे और ये सारी राधाएं रख ली हैं आपने, चक्कर क्या है?" He says, "जी इनका क्या काम है?" Now look at this. This is what I want to point out, that mandate was to have 33% women guards, but the men who were superior, they were too scared to put them in the field duty on the reason that you never know what's going to happen. देखिए जी उधर तो और भी आदमी हैं, पता नहीं क्या होगा, कल को हम अगर इनको फील्ड में भेजेंगे ये तो हम पे हैरेसमेंट का केस डाल देंगी. Now this is the inherent problem which I found at the grassroots level. I had to give them, even in my course I had added not only yoga or something, I had even added the caution with regard to the sexual harassment situations, that if it happens, what you have to do, but you must not give up. You must continue with your duty. And what is the use of coming and sitting in the office and doing your computer courses, which you can do otherwise? नहीं मैडम ये तो सरकारी नौकरी है ना, तो दूसरी अच्छी मिल जाएगी. So in this way, in 11, 13, 15, 3 courses, 33% women have already been employed. But some of them now, with lot of fights, have been posted at either tourism points or नाकों पे बिठा दिया, wherever you go to the parks, entry parks. But none of them is in the field, which they should be, or flying squads. So even in the field training, we used to tell them how you have to do the raids, how you have to, enter the house. And most of the women are the ones who come in the front to protect the men. And why you have to be so tough with them so that they yield and they show up and they show the poachers, what not we trained them. So finally, when we were doing at the grassroots level, we realized that there was enthusiasm, but it got dumped because the males didn't have the confidence to put them in those responsible jobs. So here I was the lone voice telling the seniors, because by the time now I had also become senior in my age and everything, and I could talk one-to-one that why aren't you sending them? Why are you wasting the resources of public funds? If you cannot take work from them, what's the use of recruitment? Then you let them go somewhere else. I mean to say, you're making mockery and then you are telling the world, जी हमने तो 33% कर दिया इनको और फिर भी ये कोई काम नहीं कर रही है. You don't allow them to work. So as on today, in Rajasthan, majority of the women are not employed in the field, but mostly are employed in the offices. And wherever the people have taken steps to post them out, some of the women have challenged them by putting cases, which is happening in every organization. So my suggestion to professional women, one is that you should be very clear in the field of conservation. Are you there? Ask yourself a question for passion or necessity. If necessity, no crime, then please take the line of necessity. Don't try to show that, I am going to pull stars and moon. Be ordinary, lead a normal life. But yes, if you are there for passion, then you are not a woman, you are a person. You are a person with a mind of submission. Then there is no problem. I would really respect a woman who decides very clearly, Madam, मैंने life ordinary जीनी है. I am not here to bring the world down. I would lead a married life. I will have children, which all of us are also happily married, not an issue. But I will not bring the stars and moon together. So it's okay. But if you have a passion, if you have identified yourself for a goal, then try to make a balance of the two. I also say that marriage is necessary. I also say children are something which is very naturally and they come along. But you don't have to make yourself so much amenable to one requirement and not follow the other. There is always a midway where you can find a balancing. Maybe few years you can take off, but once you take off, then it's not that you don't come back. You please come back and don't lose the touch. You keep doing something, if not 100%, do 20%. If not 70%, do 30%. But be in touch with the subject in which you are doing. Because field of conservation, I understand when I used to teach the probationers here in IG and FA, they would say, I said, where would you like to be posted, young ladies? They would say, Madam, किसी शहर में ढूंढेंगे. Because fiancé तो यही है, इनमें से एक आधी है, So half of them would reply like this. So I want to be in Jabalpur from Madhya Pradesh. Where do you want to be? I want to be in Dehradun or whatever. And they would get it. So I would say, फिर ये आए क्यों हैं IFS में? और तो कहीं मिला नहीं. So we have joined IFS. So what the weakness is this? Biological, inherent problems we have, which we'll not overcome, but let's make them a victory point. That is not a weakness. That I would call inherent difficulties. Strength, you are minority, not by others, but you are not a minority. You are a floating population like anybody else. So I am only one to say here, we are not here as women, but we are here as intelligent, intellectual participants. Gender is something which is natural. And gender is something which we make out of it because we are born women. But otherwise,